Hey guys, this is Ashton from Muse Themes. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to run through our Mega Menu widget. Our Mega Menu widget is a great solution for websites that are very content heavy and need a stylish navigation solution to include a heavy amount of pages and or links. So I'm going to jump directly into Muse and we'll just drag this widget right out onto the page. And immediately you can see a stylish layout already prepared. Now, this widget does not use the regular Muse menu widget, but rather a composition widget with a customized target and triggers. Now, already from placing this widget out on the page, I can preview this in the browser, and we can see that it's already functioning, which is pretty cool. So we'll jump back into Muse and do some customizing. Now, the first thing I want to show you is, if I just click on this entire space one time, you can see it selects the entire composition with this small blue dotted line. This is our composition as a whole, and if I simply drag this downward, you can see that just our composition itself moves, and everything sitting beneath it in the header are actually separate elements. So for starters, I'm going to go ahead and set this top black rectangle to be full width. And we'll go ahead and give our button some styling. Now, it's not even really a button. This is just a simple text box. So I can just double click and go ahead and type whatever we want. We'll go ahead and do click here. And to change the border, we can change that by simply going to our stroke menu here. I'll go ahead and we'll give it a light blue. There. Now for our composition, again, I can click once to select the entire thing, but if I click once more on just this small rectangle, this will select just our trigger. Now the trigger is the space that when clicked or hovered will activate the target, and this big area down here, this is the target. And you can set it to activate with either a click or a hover in the settings panel, and we'll get into that in a moment. So to make this function, all you need to do is position the trigger over top of whatever is acting as your button. Now that's how the widget comes set as standard, but we could take this a step further. Let's say you wanted to give this button some kind of rollover effect. Well, alternatively, I can go ahead and move the trigger back down out of the way, and you could simply select your text button here, and I'll drag it to sit inside of the trigger itself. There. Now if I select my trigger again and move it around, you can see that it's all acting as one element now. The difference here is that now you can treat this trigger kind of like a state button. So with it selected, going to the top left of our workspace here, this is our state menu up here where it says trigger. Clicking this will display the different states. We have normal, rollover, mouse down, and active, and it can be customized individually. So let me drag the whole trigger to its placement so we can play around with coloring. And we'll go ahead and select just the text box. Make sure the state menu is set to normal. And let's see, I'll go ahead and give the text an underline, and we can leave the letters white for now. But I'll switch to rollover, and we'll take the underline away, and we'll give it how about an orange stroke? And we'll make sure to keep it that way on the mouse down and active states as well. Perfect. Now for our target. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's positioned right under the page header. And you're able to customize this any way that you wish. You can extend it downward, you can drag more items into it, and you can assign hyperlinks to any page in your site or any third-party site as well. If you want to adjust the fill or the stroke settings, just make sure you have just the target specifically selected, and you can change the settings up here on the top left. And you can adjust the width of it as well to accommodate whatever device you're styling this for. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave the sizing alone for now, but maybe we'll do a hyperlink on this first text prompt just for fun. I'll go ahead and activate this to send to MuseThemes.com. And now from doing that, I can see that I need to adjust the link styles. So I'll go ahead and click on hyperlinks. We'll click on Edit Link Styles. And we'll give it the orange color back for its normal state. And maybe a white color for rollover. And we'll do an underline for rollover as well. Awesome. Now finally, let's take a look at the settings panel for the composition. Everything in here comes standard as any other regular Muse composition widget, but there's a couple things here that I do want to point out. The first one here is this second option. This is the show target option. This is where you can select whether you want the target to appear on rollover, or here we can change it to be a click. And additionally, this third option, hide target, this will decide when the menu will disappear. So leaving it to none, this will actually keep your menu open for the duration of the page visit once it's opened. Setting it to on rollout, in this case would not be recommended because the menu would disappear anytime your mouse would leave the trigger. In this case, I would recommend on rollout of trigger and target. This will keep the menu expanded as long as the mouse is over either the trigger or the target, but it will hide it otherwise. So I'm going to leave it set to that for now. And lastly, whenever you're done editing your menu, you can always deselect this Show Lightbox Parts While Editing option to clear up your workspace. And of course, you can always bring that back if you need to make any additional changes later. So we'll go ahead and give that a browser preview. And there we see our buttons styling applied. We have our hover state. Our menu is fading in nicely on hover, collapsing nicely on rollout. And our hyperlink functioning here, sending us to our website. So that's our mega menu widget. We hope you enjoy it and find it useful. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to let us know and support. Thanks again for watching.